Hello again everyone, and welcome back to the Red Gingham. If you're new to this channel, my name is Joy, and here I show you how I make my plant-based recipes. So for today's recipe, I am going to show you how to make a vegan pasta Alfredo sauce. This recipe is actually inspired by a recipe from the book Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. He is a medical doctor, and the book is called Eat to Live, and the recipe is on page 275. It is actually called kale with cashew cream sauce, but instead of kale, I am going to be using mushrooms and broccoli and show you how I make this into a vegan pasta Alfredo sauce. So let's get cooking. Okay, so for today's ingredients, we're going to be using about 4 large cloves of garlic, which we're going to mince, about 1 cup of broccoli florets. I already pre-cooked this by putting it into the hot pasta water and let it sit there for only about 2 minutes. And I have here cremini mushrooms, which we're going to cut up into slices. And I have here about 12 mushrooms of different sizes. There's about 12 in there. And then of course cashews. These are raw chopped cashews, and I'm going to use 1/4 cup for now, but we'll see. As you know, I don't really measure when I'm cooking, so we're gonna add as we go with this recipe as we cook today. And also I am going to be using almond milk, and I always use the unsweetened original almond breeze milk. Whatever brand that you buy, I always recommend the unsweetened original. So that's it for today. Let's start by chopping our garlic. So let's start by mincing our garlic. Garlic is done. Transfer that. Next is our mushrooms. And when I slice mushrooms, I don't want it to be too thin because I want to have chunk. I want to bite into the mushrooms when I eat them. So don't cut your mushrooms too thin. All right. Now this big one right here, there will be a few slices, few thick slices right there. Now the smaller ones, you have no choice. We'll probably just cut it into 2. I'll put our cashews in a processor. So we have pulverized the cashews in this NutriBullet processor, but any processor will do. There you go. Let's try this. Let's start with 1/4 cup. I might have to add a little bit more, so later on I might have to grind a little bit more cashews. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the garlic into the pan, and there is no oil here. The pan is already hot. And the reason I'm not putting oil is I just want to get a little bit of that roasty garlic flavor. I am going to add oil in a little bit, but just to dry roast the garlic for a little bit. So right now you can see that it's kind of sticking to the pan and it's starting to brown. The pan is not too hot and I have it on low heat. You don't want your garlic to burn. You just want to give it a little bit of a roasty flavor at the bottom of the pan. So it's starting to stick to the bottom of the pan, and it's starting to get brown a little bit. Oh, it smells so good. Get that roasty flavor. Again, remember, keep the flame or the heat on low when you're doing this. You don't want to burn garlic. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, now I'm just going to add a tad bit of olive oil so it doesn't continue to, so it doesn't burn. It's very little. That's probably not even half a teaspoon, or at the most half a teaspoon. So now I'm going to add the mushrooms and let the mushrooms cook. And I have here about half a cup of the almond milk. I'm going to add just a little bit to help the mushrooms cook. And cover. Oops, wrong cover. I need a bigger cover. All right, there's my cover. So we'll wait for the mushrooms to cook. Probably it will just be about 5 minutes. So if the liquid is starting to dry up, just add a little bit more of the almond milk. This liquid will help the mushrooms cook faster and evenly. Cover it again until the mushrooms are cooked. Okay, time to check on our mushrooms. That actually looks good. Now we can add our cashew to thicken the sauce. Let's add it a little at a time. So I'm going to push the mushrooms to the side and thicken the sauce with the cashew. I think I'm going to use all of the 1/4 cup. A little bit more milk. Pepper, black pepper to taste. And a little bit of salt. Again, this is all to taste. Our sauce is starting to thicken. Look at that. And I think I'm going to need more of the sauce. So I'm going to grind up more cashews, and I'm going to need a little bit more of the almond milk. So, but look how thick this is now. It's starting to look like real Alfredo sauce. Look how thick that is. Okay. This recipe, by the way, is for 2 to 3 people. So that's why I'm going to be adding a little bit more sauce, because I have too many mushrooms here. Plus, I still have broccoli that I will be adding. So maybe another 1/4 cup of mushrooms and another 1/2 cup of almond milk. So we'll see, we'll test it. Okay, so as you're heating this up, first of all, sorry for that noise. That's the air conditioner. It is summer here in Los Angeles, so the AC is on, so that's the noise you're hearing. So as you're heating this up, again, I have it on low. The sauce is becoming thick. So now I'm going to add the broccoli. Remember, this was already pre-cooked, this broccoli. So that's why I'm adding it last, so it does not overcook and it remains firm. Now here's an optional item. This is actually called nutritional yeast. If you don't have it, you don't need to add it. It's optional. My friend gave this to me. She said she got it at Sprouts. See, it's a very yellow, almost like a curry powder yellow color to it. It smells really delicious. You know what it smells like? It smells like seasoning for chips. Let me just cover this so it doesn't dry up. Or like a bouillon, like a chicken bouillon. It smells like it's very a savory smelling. And this actually gives it a flavor of like Parmesan cheese, but again, if you don't want to add this or you don't know where to get it, it is completely optional. The sauce is good as it is, as long as you put a lot of garlic in there. I love a lot of garlic, and I will admit, because I added a little bit more of the milk, the almond milk, to this sauce, it kind of diluted the flavor of the garlic. So I would have used more garlic for this amount of sauce. Probably double up on the garlic. I used 4 cloves of garlic, so I probably can go up to 8 cloves of garlic if I want to double up that amount of milk. So all in all, I used about actually 1 cup of almond milk and half a cup. Actually, I still have a little bit of cashews left here. So just, you know, as you go, you can see the thickness, how thick you want it to be. If you want it thicker, you add more cashews, and then you're gonna have to double up on the garlic. So I'll review that recipe later. And then I'm just gonna add this nutritional yeast to give it a little bit of flavor. Again, it gives kind of like a flavor of cheese to it. Okay, so this is how again, that's an optional item. So it's a little bit thick now. And let's give it a test. Delicious. So now I'm going to add our pasta. So this recipe is for about 2 to 3 servings. So just toss the pasta into that sauce. And we are done. I'm going to add more pasta here. All right, check this out. Look at that. It looks really delicious. It looks really creamy, like it's real cream that we used, but it's actually the cashews that made it thick and creamy. See how the coating is on the broccoli? It looks like it's coated with cream, especially here on the mushrooms. You can see it. Okay, so let's give this a try. Wow, that's very peppery. It's good, just the right amount of salt. I don't want it to be too salty. Maybe I'll add a little bit more of the nutritional yeast to make it taste a little cheesy. But even without it, it's good. What I'm going to do, I'm going to review the recipe again. I'm going to list down the ingredients for you. I'm going to double up on the garlic. It needs more garlic. When I first tried it, before I added the second batch of cashews and almond milk, you can really taste the garlic. But since I doubled it up because it thickens so much, and I'm making for 2 to 3 servings of this, that's why I needed to double up on the almond milk for the sauce. So I'm going to definitely double up the garlic, although this is good enough. If you're not really into garlic, then go ahead and just use 4 cloves. But because I love the flavor of garlic, I am going to double this up to 8 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to list that recipe for you guys. All right, but overall, this is really good. It's quick and easy. It's very creamy, and it's a vegan pasta Alfredo. Okay, so here is the revised ingredients that I promised you. 8 cloves of minced garlic, 1 cup broccoli florets, 12 pieces of cremini mushrooms, half cup of raw cashews, 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk, half a teaspoon of olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, and nutritional yeast to taste, which is optional. Also, please note that the 8 cloves of garlic is for a very robust garlic flavor. If you're not too much into garlic, then you can go ahead and lessen the garlic to about 4 to 5 cloves. So that is our vegan recipe for today, pasta Alfredo sauce. Remember, it's all veggie, it's healthy, and it's tasty. If you like this recipe, please click the like button and remember to subscribe. Till next time, thank you for watching.